A dental crown costs about $1,500 in America. In one Mexican border town, the same crown ran around $300, and that town built its entire economy on American teeth. First, the ground rules. This is a cost comparison, not medical advice. We're not dentists, and nothing here is a recommendation to get, skip, or book any procedure anywhere. Every figure you'll hear comes from publicly available sources: KFF Health News, NPR, a peer-reviewed study in the journal Globalization in Health, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, Medicare, the American Dental Association, the British Dental Association, and the U.S. Department of Commerce, among others. Prices are approximate, some are a few years old, and they change often. And we'll do the thing the ads won't: put both the savings and the catch on the table. Let's name the thing. A crown is a cap that covers a damaged tooth. And in the United States, it is one of the most common big-ticket items in dentistry. According to KFF Health News, a crown that cost about $1,500 in America ran just $300 to $600 across the border in Mexico. That report is from 2019, so treat the exact dollars as a few years old. But the gap it describes, roughly 60 to 80% cheaper, has been remarkably stable. NPR, reporting separately, put Mexican dental prices at about 2/3 less than in the US. Two independent sources, the same enormous gap. Now scale that up. For full mouth work, a complete set of implant-supported teeth, peer-reviewed medical tourism literature puts the US figure near $48,000 against roughly $6,500 in Mexican border cities. Same arch of teeth, a fraction of the price. And here's the part Americans feel first. Routine dental work mostly isn't covered the way medical care is. Traditional Medicare by law doesn't pay for routine dental work, no cleanings, no fillings, no crowns. And KFF reports about half of all Medicare beneficiaries had no dental visit in the past year. Roughly a quarter of American adults have no dental insurance at all, according to the American Dental Association's Research Institute. The CDC put the figure even higher for older adults. And even the insured hit a wall. The typical dental plan still caps out around $1,000 to $1,500 a year. A ceiling, the trade group that represents dental plans, notes that was set roughly 40 years ago and has barely moved since. One crown can swallow a whole year's benefit. So for millions of people, the real American price of a crown isn't $1,500. It's $1,500 out of pocket, full stop. So they looked south, and a lot of them looked at one tiny place in a border town called Los Algodones, nicknamed Molar City. A peer-reviewed study in Globalization in Health counted roughly 500 dentists working in a town of about 6,000 residents. Read that again. 500 dentists, 6,000 people. NPR reported that tens of thousands of Americans and Canadians cross over every year, many of them retirees who winter just across the line in Arizona. The whole local economy, the researchers found, was built on treating American and Canadian patients. Why there and why so cheap? Lower wages, lower rent, lower overhead. They genuinely make dentistry cheaper to deliver. And on straightforward work, the savings are real. And the geography matters. For a lot of this audience, Los Algodones isn't going abroad for surgery. It's a walk or a short drive across a border many of them already cross. A day trip, not a medical expedition. And this is no longer a fringe choice. Mexico's medical tourism market was estimated by the research firm IMARC at around $2 billion, on track to grow several times over by the next decade. A real slice of that is Americans crossing the line for exactly this: dental work at a clearance price. That's the setup. Here's the part the billboards leave out. If you're weighing this, we built the thing the ads skip. A free, plain English medical travel cost checklist in the description, what to ask before you book, what the package price leaves out, and how to check a clinic from 1,000 miles away. No email gymnastics. Keep one phrase in your head for the next 2 minutes: the true cost. Here's the honest catch, and it isn't a scam. The number on the billboard is the price of the procedure. It is not always the true cost. Start with the trips. A simple crown can sometimes be done in a couple of days, but bigger work, implants, full mouth restorations, is staged by biology, not by marketing. A Cochrane review notes implants are typically left to heal for 3 to 8 months before the final teeth go on. That often means a second trip. More flights, more hotels, more time off. And the CDC's Travelers Health Service warns that follow-up care for any complications can be expensive and may not be covered by your insurance back home. None of that is on the billboard. Then there's accountability. Mexico does license its dentists. There's a national professional credential, and many Mexican dentists are very well trained. That isn't the issue. The issue, according to the U.S. Department of Commerce, is that there's no single U.S.-style state dental board standing behind the work. And the Los Algodones researchers themselves noted that much of the regulation there runs on reviews and word of mouth. The real problem isn't competence. It's that from 1,000 miles away, you can't easily verify it, and if something breaks, the person who can fix it is in another country. How big a deal is that follow-up? The clearest data comes from Britain, where dental tourism is also common. In a survey by the British Dental Association, 86% of UK dentists said they treated patients whose treatment abroad later ran into problems, and the British Dental Journal found the remedial work commonly cost between £500 and over £5,000, with much of it landing back on the public health system. Now, that's a survey of what dentists remembered seeing, not a failure rate for any one country, and it's cosmetic inclusive. It does not mean Mexican dentistry fails that often. What it means is simpler. Follow-up and redo costs are a real line item the sticker price never mentions. And here's the most honest thing of all. We don't actually have good comparative data on long-term outcomes. A review in the journal Maturitas found the evidence on medical tourism outcomes was weak. Not that results are worse, but that they're genuinely understudied. Anyone who tells you it's definitely just as good or definitely worse is selling you something. So here's the whole picture, both sides on the table. The savings are real. For the roughly 1 in 5 American adults who, according to the CDC, skipped or delayed dental care because of the cost, the alternative to cheaper care abroad often isn't pricier care at home, it's no care at all. A crown you can finally afford beats a tooth you lose. That's not vanity, and it's not recklessness, it's math. But the risks are real too, and they're a different kind than the price tag. Staged work can mean a second trip you didn't budget for. There's no easy way to verify a clinic from across a border, and no familiar regulator to call if it goes wrong. And the follow-up, if you need it, can quietly eat the savings you crossed the line to get. The honest move was never go or don't go. It's this. Price the whole thing, not just the procedure, the trips, the follow-up. Who's accountable if a tooth breaks in a year? Because the cheapest crown in the world is the one you don't have to pay for twice. So, is dental work in Mexico worth it? Based on publicly available data, the price gap is real and large. A crown reported around $300 against roughly $1,500 at home. Full mouth work, a fraction of the US figure. The catch is everything the sticker leaves out. The second trip, the follow-up, and the fact that accountability stops at the border. Run the true cost, not the billboard. The checklist in the description walks you through every line of it. If a no-hype breakdown like this is useful, subscribe. The real cost of care, no clinic ads, no sponsors. And I want your take. Would you cross a border to save $1,000 on dental work? Or does the who fixes it if it breaks question settle it? Tell me below. You shouldn't have to go broke to feel whole.